In this video, we will cover the GL Edit Rules page, how it's laid out, and how you can modify the data. Under the GL link, select Edit Rules. All of the GL mapping rules are broken down by their financial statement or OSHPD category. So let's look at the mappings for the operating expense accounts. The GL rules are basically broken down as row and column mappings. Your rows are essentially your lines and your columns are your worksheet columns. The first rule shows your sub-accounts. Any accounts that fall within this sub-account range will be mapped to column 1. Likewise, any operating expense account that matches this criteria will be mapped to this worksheet and line. Now, to add new rules, you can scroll down to the bottom of the section and you have a few blank input boxes. Here you can enter in your own specific row and column mappings as so desired. You can also select certain rules to delete on the very far right hand side and save changes. Another way to mass upload a batch of GL mapping rules is via this paste box at the top of each section. In order to utilize this paste box, we would copy and paste data from Excel that corresponds with the amount of columns as shown on the page. In this example, we have 5 columns for department, sub-account, worksheet, line, and column. So we would need to copy and paste in an Excel detail that is 5 columns wide and has the applicable data that we want to import. Another form of specific GL mapping rules are called exception rules. These appear at the top of each section and are highlighted blue. Any rules that are entered in as an exception will apply first before these generic range rules. So I will show you how those apply with another operating account. So in this example, my worksheet line mappings were being driven by my sub-account. But I have a sub-account that is going to 2 different worksheet lines. So the tools were unable to create one rule for this account. Therefore, I need to set up an exception for both of these accounts because there is no one uniform generic rule. There is a specific rule for each of these 2 accounts. So to do that, I am going to have to enter 2 specific rules for these 2 accounts that will map their line and columns. So both accounts are on the same sub-account, but on 2 different departments. They're both go to worksheet 14. Worksheet 14 only has 1 column. And my 2 lines that I want these 2 accounts to go to are line 95 and 200 respectively. So 95 and 200. Scroll to the bottom and save my changes. So now for my other operating accounts, it will specifically map these 2 accounts to these worksheet lines and columns and then map everything else according to these range rules. So that is how exception rules work. For an exception rule, all of the data fields need to be completed, whereas these white generic GL mapping rules can be partial rules for parts of an account. Exception rules are for the full account piece and full mappings. These white sections are for partial accounts.